Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be going over the FTX balance sheets that actually did go and come on out, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's really not looking too good. This is going to be more so in regards to if you guys do have tokens or your own assets on FTX, because it is involved now currently in bankruptcy, as they're in the beginning stages of it. That means that you will be becoming a creditor to the actual bankruptcy estate itself of FTX. So that basically means that any type of assets, real estate, stocks, investments, and all of that is in theory then technically yours because it's owed to the creditors, which is basically anyone who is like retail or like industrial that had assets on the FTX exchange. Now, I'm going to go through all these because it does seem actually kind of bad. I'm going to be fully honest with you guys. I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep dive into it too, but it kind of looks like a lot of the rumors of them having around $1 billion worth of assets, while at the same time having around $9 billion of liabilities has been mostly pretty much confirmed and true. And if you guys can kind of do the really quick basic math off of that one, that just means that you're not going to get a lot of money back in terms of FTX at all. So we're going to go talk about the details. We're going to kind of give you guys, I guess, the bad news. If you guys are involved in this FTX situation, I am so sorry. As I've mentioned in prior videos, I've been a Celsius creditor myself, so I'm kind of familiar with this, so I'm going to definitely be making videos. So if you guys do want to subscribe, I'll try my best to keep up to date with this FTX bankruptcy stuff as stuff comes out, as I've been doing with Celsius and Voyager. That's not going to stop. I just may do a few extra videos as well. But let's go talk about the asset sheet. Let's talk about the liabilities. Let's talk about what you might potentially go and get back. But a lot of these numbers, like I said, are not looking good at all. Like it's almost speechless. And I'm sure you guys have been seeing the news online. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Twitter, Reddit, or whatever. This is just like I'm almost speechless on how bad it actually is for everyone out here. So first and foremost, when it comes to this one, we actually have a really cool thing over here from Chaz or Keith, but as well, we kind of have like the initial leak. So let me go and first of all talk about this really quickly. And it might be a little harder to see up on video. That's why I have the other thing I'll show you guys in a second over here. But we're seeing quite a few different other like liabilities. So if you guys want to maybe look through this and see, these are probably going to be secured creditors in the actual I guess, bankruptcy itself. Basically, secured creditors are people who should be being paid first when it comes to money and investments. It's kind of like if you take out a loan with someone, you're going to have to pay that back first before you pay back the creditors. That's just how bankruptcy works. So as this, you can see there's a $200 million liability to Genesis. There's a $215 million basically thing to BlockFi. And as you guys may or may not know, BlockFi is maybe on the verge of bankruptcy too as well. That was also recently locked down. And I'm also myself had a little bit of money in BlockFi too. So if you guys are part of the BlockFi proceedings too as well, and you guys, I might post this up on that subreddit. You guys are very welcome to if you guys want to subscribe. I'm not trying to shill. I'm just trying to, like, we've just been doing this for a while. You guys can check the channel. So basically that would also mean that ideally anyone who might be involved in BlockFi, if they do have the extra assets, they might be able to go and also be a secure lender and get a bigger portion of that back, which would also in theory can then go back to BlockFi customers. So not all hope is lost there. Although none of this is confirmed, we also have been hearing a double whammy that BlockFi may actually have Robinhood stock as being held, which you guys can kind of see. We'll talk about in a second. So that also might just be they already have like a collateralization on that, although they have to wait for the bankruptcy proceedings to see what they can do with that stock. Or as well, we've also been hearing kind of bad rumors that BlockFi itself also might have a lot of their customer assets on the FTX exchange, and they may have actually lost them, and that might have been a stipulation due to the actual contract of their obviously like revolving creditor loan. So we don't necessarily fully know a lot of this information until the bankruptcy proceedings keep on progressing. I'm going to hope that BlockFi has a lot of their own secured assets and they only are just more so like insolvent just from this situation. Like a $200 million loan could probably break a lot of companies, but hopefully BlockFi will have like a 70, 80, 90% assets base and maybe get a little bit back from FTX, but we'll get more information as time goes on. And they do also have a few little other liabilities in terms of like their, Bitcoin at $1.4 billion. USD $1.5 billion, other $268 billion, USD and F, like hundreds of millions of dollars, which is not fun to see at the end of the day. So it does kind of seem like Genesis and BlockFi might be secured creditors, and then we'll see how everything else kind of plays in out too. Now, these are obviously not like 100% as well, but some of these assets, and this is why it's kind of bad, is they have some things like the hood stock, like Robinhood, where they have around $500 million of the stock itself. But obviously, if people know that they have $500 million that they need to go and sell legally, that probably means the price is going to go down because it's kind of like you just know it's going to be sold. So why like sell now before they sell later on? And they also do have a lot of other mediocre coins too that are tied on their basically assets still as well. So a little bit more of a fine-tuned thing here, but maybe this actually might be a good time to do it as the second, where basically the liquidity for these things are really not good. Like this is why some folks are saying like off the 1 billion in asset to 9 billion in liabilities, that's why you might only get like 10% and that's why it's really like rough. I mean, hopefully there's a lot more investments too in equities, which we're going to cover in a second, but like, it's just really not looking good. So some of their more like liquid assets you guys can see, we basically had Robinhood at around $400 million. They did have USDs at around $200 million and a few other various coins like, DAI, etc., DOT, and a few of these other pretty like decent coin ranks too. Although some of these are also very, very low in the coin rank list. So we have like 5,000, 6,000 over here for the coin rank and coin market cap. Now, this is probably the world's worst one. Now, this is like, or if I was an FTX holder, this is where I'm like, oh, this is really not good. So one of the biggest assets they keep on saying is in regards to some of these really, really not good coins. So as you guys can kind of see, the overall numbers, like in theory, if all the stuff they're saying lining up, would be around a $2.5 billion hole. In terms of like what their total liabilities are versus the assets they have. But I'm going to tell you guys why these numbers are a lot lower. As you guys can probably go and see, there's an SRM token over here. And there's been a lot of controversy with this SRM token because first and foremost, you guys can see the liquidity is very low. So that means you cannot go and sell this token at all. Now, this is just more in like the Wrath, whatever, I'm just using it as a quick example for you guys. There's different stuff out there, obviously, like for like different markets. But basically, like, you guys can see the coin itself is just, it's not a big coin. Like you guys can also see the price drops as well from people knowing that this is actually going to be sold to on top of that. It's just not like the liquidity is basically really, really bad. We can even look at like Uniswap really quick over here for like the USDC pairing. I guess it doesn't even show up that one. But basically just shows that like this coin, I think, had like an $80 million market cap or so, give or take, when it came to crypto. And they're trying to go and say that they somehow have $2.2 billion worth of this SRM coin. Let me try to get a better proper coin market cap for you guys. But like it basically goes, they're like, hey, like, yeah, like this coin, like, don't worry. It's worth billions of dollars. Let me show you guys. First and foremost, that's not going to be true, because they're fully diluted market cap for this SRM coin. I'm assuming this is the right coin too as well, but it's at 2.4 billion at a fully diluted market cap. The volume is only at 70 billion. That's probably or 70 million because there's probably just so many people trading right now. Look at the one-day chart because everyone knows it's going to be being sold, and as well, the market cap's only a $62 million market cap, and it just you just know it's not going to be worth that much money. It's not going to go and being worth $2 billion. There is no liquidity for it. It's like, and the coin has also just been dropping. So that's basically, I'd almost want to put that at like, just scratch it out. It's kind of like the CLCSL token, just scratch it out. And like that's just gone. Like literally, like that's literally they're the same thing. They're basically doing what Celsius did. They basically have these really awful coins, like such as their FTT coin, which you guys can see for $553 million. Like that's probably, you're not going to probably get that. Like the markets aren't that illiquid. I'm sure exchanges are going to start delisting it. And at the end of the day, the price is going to keep on going down and down because who's going to buy it besides bots? And at some point, they're going to stop the bots. So they also have $500 million in FTT tokens. They also have $600 million in maps, which is in a similar situation because their coin rank's only 933. And some of these other coins too, like FE and like all these types of like really random coins, these are not really that liquid. Like you have a 7,000 coin rank, a 1,300 coin rank. Like these just, you will not be able to get all this money back. But the main thing is that this SRM and these maps, that's around $3 billion running up. Let's throw in FTT, that's over $3 billion of assets, which you will not be able to go and recover without a doubt. So that alone probably makes the whole, at least, I don't even know, like if I'm trying to even be nice, like a $5 billion difference from their liabilities. And even then, that's not good because it also includes up all these other liquid things that are also dropping in price. And these, I'm sure, are also even worth way, way less too as well. If you guys also look at the overall general like Bitcoin market, it's just not doing good. Now, they do also have a few other ventures, though, and this might be the best saving grace over here. I think a big one is probably on the other venture side, which they just invested into a lot of different companies. So in terms of just like crypto startups and smaller crypto coins, et cetera, et cetera. And it just basically goes to show that that might be the best way to recover. Like they own a little bit of Twitter stock too and a few other various companies, which they have invested into. So that does have at least a little bit of liabilities timed on in. But also I believe a lot of this information is also before the exchange hack that we're still finding out more information on, which was like a few $100 million. So if they, at the end of the day, if you guys are an FTX holder, this is not looking good. Some folks are saying just pure asset wise, maybe like if you're super lucky, maybe a 20% recovery. But as I mentioned, there's secured lenders such as Genesis and BlockFi being involved, at least seemingly. We also do have like all these other, like it's really hard to raise and sell equity in this type of market as well, which is super, super not good to see. Like I hate seeing this. Like it's awful to see. Like they're saying they have $1.5 billion, but like if you guys, like you guys can probably tell, like all these companies are doing layoffs. It's just not going to be worth that much money. So it's really bad. I'm almost speechless on how bad the situation somehow was. So if you guys want to subscribe and stay in tuned, I guess, for all the information on FTX, the bankruptcy, and all this, feel free to if you guys want to. And I just appreciate you guys, I guess, so much for watching. But like, this is probably one of the worst bankruptcies I think we've had a chance to see so far as well. And also shout out to Keith too for your information and spreadsheets as well.